My first drink, it was a Miller Genuine Draft. I was an insecure kid. I had acne all over my face. I got ears the size of a Dumbo. I looked like a cab coming down a one-way street with its doors open. We didn't have much money. I didn't have popular clothes. Every time that I tried to talk to a girl, I would get all cottony mouth. I would get rocks in my stomach. My knees would buckle, and I wouldn't be able to do it. The first time I took a drink, it took me. You know, it made me feel comfortable standing where I was standing for the first time in my life.
When I drank, it wasn't a problem for me, but it was a problem for everyone else. I would have intentions of not ruining times, and then you go out and you have a couple, and the next thing you know, you're waking up the next day going, man, why did I do that? You know, and it's like that loss of control.
So it opened doors for me, but at the end of my drinking, I didn't realize that it was killing me.
I didn't realize like that was my problem. I can't just have one.
My last drink, it was a rough one. I ended up in a basement apartment, and next thing you know, the curtain opened up in the back. And a very large man, probably about 300-400 pounds, big guy, 6'5". He comes over and he looks at me. He's very upset with the gentleman that brought me. You know, he goes, "What are you doing bringing this guy here to my house? How do I know he ain't the cops?" I pulled out $400 and I threw it on a stack of crates right beside him. And he pulled out a 9mm, and you know, and he rested it on my chin. And I took a step back and I put my mouth on the gun. His hand started to shake. His eyes got really big. And I said, either let me get high or blow my head off. And I sat down there, and I sat there for 3 days.
My worst day. I had a lot of worst days. So, you know, I had already been introduced to 12-step programs, and I had a taste of recovery, and things were good, and I got separated from that. I had overdosed. At that moment, I didn't think anything was gonna be okay ever again. I thought everything was over. The fear of what was gonna happen to me was far greater than what I actually did after that moment. And it's because I reached out to people for help.
It was about the 6-month mark. You know, I had came home from work. It was about 4 o'clock, and then all of a sudden it dawned on me. Today was the first day that I didn't think about a drink. I had 1 day of clarity, and it just opened everything up. Local 103 has actually had an AA meeting for 42 years. It's always been run by a 103 electrician, and it's been passed down, and passed down, and passed down. And the last member is an older member, Pat, and he ended up passing it to me.
I've cried, I've laughed, I've yelled, you know, and it's amazing, because when it all comes down to it, we're all there for each other. What else can you ask for?
The thing about AA has changed my life, saved my life, but you can't do certain things in AA. You can't raise money, you can't publicize everything. So we decided to turn it into a sobriety group. Because you got a member, his wife throws him out, he's on his way to detox. This poor guy's got no clothes, she doesn't want anything to do with him, she's not letting him in the house, she's not letting him anything. So what do you do with that guy, right? You gotta stop, you gotta get him some clothes. Now what happens to that guy when he comes out? He doesn't have a place to go. His wife ain't letting him back in. So now we hook him up with sober living. It's a nice little system that we got going, and we helped him out.
It's a great thing. It's amazing. Sometimes I walk in on Sunday, there's 50, 60 people, sometimes more. And I walk into that and think about 5 years ago when there was 4 or 3, and it's growing, and it's great.
We see incredible success stories in 103. Their recovery group is fantastic. I've been to thousands of recovery meetings. I've never been to anything quite like what they do on a Sunday morning here.
When we get a guy sober, 2 things happen. They care about their family, and they care about their job. So you got an obsessive person, obsessive alcoholic or an addict, doesn't matter which it is, right? But you got an obsessive alcoholic that's worrying about your job. He puts his head on the pillow and he's sitting there and he goes, oh, did I order enough number 10 for that wire pull? So he's actually worried about making you money. When I say that to a contractor, They get extremely excited. When they see Steve McGonigal and they see the success, and it's unbelievable how it's taken off.
On the work side of it, it gets easy. I can focus on what I'm doing. But now I get to be 100% present and available to do my job, to solve the problems, to take the education that I had gotten in the past and apply it to my life now.
He's running work for us. He's a very good foreman, attention to detail, very conscientious, especially when it comes to safety.
I don't consider myself a leader or anything like that, but we're on a team. That's how I look at it. We're on a team, and I want my team to be the best team.
Honestly, we knew he was a good worker. Now we find out that he's a smart guy. He's a conscientious guy, and he's super focused on his job. And he's done an amazing job.
It's a wonderful, wonderful thing that's going on here at Local 103, and I couldn't be prouder of Jay and the whole team. These guys finding strength in each other, and they're finding lots of success. It's working here at Local 103. It can work everywhere.
So I've been sober now for 14 and a half years. Stevie keeps me accountable on a day-to-day basis, and I feel like we're de facto sponsors for each other. I mean, I have my sponsor, but I get to talk to Steve every day, and he keeps me accountable, and I hope that I do the same for him.
My best days now are when I wake up, do the next right thing in each situation that arises. Those are my best days.